Hello, and welcome to another video of me talking about movies. This time I'm going to be talking about the Karate Kid franchise because Karate Kid Legends just came out. Irene and I came together and we shot a Reels on Wheels for it, so you can watch that video. But I wanted to know where it sits in the franchise. Like, where does it rank in the Karate Kid franchise? Now, this is only the movies. This is not counting Cobra Kai, which is its own thing. It is part of this, but I'm not counting it because, Cobra Kai's number one. Cobra Kai never dies. I just thought it was really interesting that this summer we're getting a lot of requels, reboots, new installments of all these different franchises. It's poised to be a really great summer blockbuster movie season. At least we're hoping. We're getting a new Jurassic Park movie, another Jurassic World, another installment, a fifth John Wick movie in the form of Ballerina, starring Ana de Armas. We're getting another Naked Gun. I had so much fun ranking the Mission Impossible movies. I thought it would be fun to do my best to kind of go through these movies, watch them all, and then, kind of see where they stand. So if you like these ranking videos, I'm probably going to do more of them. And let's get right into this next installment where we're talking Karate Kid. We're going to start with the least favorite to most favorite. At the very bottom, we have The Next Karate Kid and The Karate Kid Part 3. The Next Karate Kid isn't as bad as people say, or even as I remember. It's Hilary Swank's first starring role, I believe. And she isn't terrible. She does a really good job at being a shitty person. She's so bratty in the movie, super disrespectful, and there's a reason for that. And there's a bit of 90s dialogue that sums up her whole being, which is she's in this fight with her grandma and she goes, "No, I didn't do my homework, Grandma, because my parents died 4 years ago in a car crash," or something like that. It's just like, wow, what the heck? The reason why they meet is because I like that the movie starts with Mr. Miyagi. He's there in Boston receiving this honor as they commemorate this anniversary and celebrate the Japanese American soldiers who fought in World War II. And one of his fallen comrades is Julie's grandfather. That's how the connection happens. They do things differently. There is no tournament, but there is some fighting. There is training. They also share more of Miyagi's history and his relationships around the world. He knows these Buddhist monks, which is kind of cool. That's where they go to train. And then, they fight against these like crappy bullies, these hall monitors. I don't know what they are, but they're all in black. They're wearing like a red thing here. I don't know. Are they like the Proud Boys? Who knows? They're like these really crappy teenagers who look like they're 40, and they're harassing Julie and getting pretty physical with her, which isn't cool. They're all led by Michael Ironside, who is kind of like a John Kreese, like a different shade of John Kreese, but he does a good job. It's okay. It's not the best one, but it's definitely part of the lore. And I really did wish that they could have somehow brought Hilary Swank to at least be in the Cobra Kai universe. It just didn't happen until it gets brought into the entire fold of the Karate Kid universe. It stays at the bottom. And then right above that, we have the Karate Kid Part 3, which at the time when it came out wasn't as impressive as the first two. And I have to keep it low on that list because I just didn't like the character of Daniel LaRusso in Part 3. He was kind of crappy and like very negligent towards Mr. Miyagi. He got broken up with Allie. He was probably in a crappy teenager mood, but like he didn't remember any of his karate. I felt like he should have been amazing after he went to Okinawa and learned all this awesome stuff. But like he gets his ass beat a lot. The one thing it does give, which they expand upon over 6 seasons of Cobra Kai, is Daniel LaRusso's truest nemesis. I believe his truest nemesis, which happens to be Terry Silver. And it's crazy that he is a year younger than Ralph Macchio in real life, which, like, can you believe that? That's insane. But yeah, I think he is his greatest nemesis. And they explore that relationship fully in Cobra Kai. So yeah, it sits at the bottom. It sits one above The Next Karate Kid. At number 4, this one, the Jackie Chan Jaden Smith reboot. I really like this one, actually. The problem is that it's called the Karate Kid. I wish they called it the Kung Fu Kid. You know, he doesn't do any karate in it. And I think one of the bullies makes fun of him and calls him the Karate Kid, and that's why that's the name. But it's silly, and they should have called it the Kung Fu Kid, because then it would have made the stuff that happens in Legends work even more when they talk about the fluidity of the different styles of martial arts and Miyagi's karate having a little bit of both. I didn't like that. And the other thing I didn't like was that they shot a fight scene with the bad teacher who is played by, I can't remember his name, but it's Iron Monkey. And like you build up this tension and then you have no fight. So when I saw it in the theater, I was like, oh, that was a bummer. They didn't do the fight. And then come to find out they actually shot one and then just cut out of the movie, which is stupid to me. Like, you should have had them have that scene in there, because then there's a teachable moment for Mr. Han that he learns from Dre at the very end of the fight. And then that's why they do the fist explosion at the end. But then if you look closely at the bottom of the screen, you see the bad teacher like on the ground, and it's like such a weird edit. Like, just keep the fight in. It would have made the movie even better. Jackie Chan's really great. I love that they gave him so much to do. He has a dramatic weight to his character. Him building up the car and then like breaking it, and then you find out why, is just like a gut punch. Like, the reasoning, it's just terrible. And he plays it really well. Like, his monologue in the car is great. He's got great chemistry with Jaden. So yeah, it's number 4. And then number 3, I'm going to put Karate Kid Legends. I really enjoyed it. I like everything that the critics didn't like about it. I enjoyed. I like Joshua Jackson. I like the different angle of the Karate Kid having a student and him sort of trying to be a Miyagi figure to this older person. I thought that was really interesting and different. I didn't want a beat for beat movie, which is what the Karate Kid reboot was. I wanted something new and something to explore and further the lore. And then we also get our first Asian Karate Kid, which is awesome. And Ben Wong is amazing in the movie. The action is good. I really like the characters. I could have used another 10, 15 minutes of runtime, but I love how fast it moves. I loved how funny it is. But I talk more about it in my Reels on Wheels review. Karate Kid Legends sits at number 3. And then number 2 is the Karate Kid Part 2. I love what they did with that. They expanded the Miyagi lore even more, you know, taking Daniel to Okinawa and having that fish out of water story. And then you get 2 great antagonists with Chozen and Sato. And I love that they turn over a new leaf, you know, towards the end. Chozen took, eventually, you know, came around, but it took Cobra Kai to get there. Whereas Sato forgave Miyagi and didn't want to kill him anymore. And you know, I love that line where he talks to Chozen. He's like, now you are dead to me. You know, one of the coolest scenes in Karate Kid Part 2 is when they're building up Sato to be this badass, right? He's got his own martial arts school and everything. And he's like trying to break this really thick piece of wood. Miyagi comes to him and he's like, you know, call it off. I don't want Chozen, you know, bothering Daniel, and like, we should end our feud. We don't need to fight till the death. And then the storm happens. A big piece of wood, similar to the one that he was hitting, Sato was hitting, falls on Sato, and freaking Miyagi's just like, oh, and like breaks it. And you're like, see, he's the best around. I love the fight at the end. I love the setup for that, where it's like, it's not tournament, it's real life. Like, I love all of that. I love the drum thing. Part 2 is solid. It definitely lifts up the original. And that's what you want a sequel to do. You want it to expand. You want it to build out even more. And that's what the Karate Kid Part 2 did. And then last is obviously the original. And I have this really cool Blu-ray Steelbook. This is from the Gallery 1988 Project Pop Art, where they did a bunch of these really cool pieces for all these different movies. And I love this one for the Karate Kid. The Karate Kid is like right here, but I love that it's all Cobra Kai. Within pop culture, over time, people had that same idea of like, you know, I think Johnny Lawrence was a true Karate Kid. There's all these videos about how Daniel was actually the bad guy. And I think seeing that stuff enough, and like over on the internet, seeing all these different memes, and then like how it's infused into pop culture. Even like How I Met Your Mother has a whole Karate Kid episode where Barney Stinson thinks that Johnny Lawrence is the Karate Kid. Like all those discussions that were happening on the internet, to me, I think it gave birth to the idea of Cobra Kai, which happens to be one of the most awesome shows ever. And I'm so glad we got 6 seasons of Cobra Kai to tell Johnny Lawrence's story. So at the very tippity top, I would say Cobra Kai ranks up there. But as far as movies go, this is number 1 right here. So that is my ranking of all the Karate Kid movies. I hope you liked it. Leave your comments down below telling me what you thought of Karate Kid Legends. I don't really understand the hate for it, but, you know, that's what happens. If you enjoyed this video, give a like, comment, subscribe, follow, and we will see you on the next. Let me get the order here. Jeez. That monkey is way closer than it was in the last video. Get away from me, monkey!